Hello, my name is Huyền. Nice to meet you.
My name is Vương. Nice to meet you too.
How are you today?
I'm great. And you?
Very well. Have you got a boyfriend?
No, I haven't. I haven't got a boyfriend. How about you? Have you got a boyfriend?
No, I haven't. I haven't got a boyfriend. How many siblings have you got?
I've got a brother. What about you? How many siblings have you got?
I got a brother and a sister. Where do you come from?
I come from Quảng Ninh province. How about you? Where do you come from?
I come from Taipei province. How long have you been here?
I've been here for about 1 year. How about you? How long have you been here?
I've been here for about 1 year too. How often do you visit your family?
I visit my family once a month. How about you? How often do you visit your family?
I visit my family every month. Who do you usually go home with?
I usually go home with my friends. How about you? Who do you usually go home with?
I usually go home alone. When do you usually go home?
I usually go home at the end of the month. How about you? When do you usually go home?
I usually go home when I feel homesick. How do you usually go back to your hometown?
I usually go back to your hometown. I usually go back to my hometown by coach.
Why don't you go by taxi?
Because it's too expensive for me.
Why don't you go by car?
Because I haven't got a car.
And why don't you go by motorbike?
Because it's too dangerous to go by motorbike. How about you? How do you usually go back to your hometown?
I usually go back to my hometown by coach.
Why don't you go by car?
Because I haven't got a car. Yes.
Why don't you go by taxi?
Because it's too expensive for me. Yes.
Why don't you go by bus?
Because the bus doesn't go to my hometown. So, what do you usually do after going back home?
Well, after going back home, I usually cook dinner. How about you? What do you do after going back home?
After going back home, I usually play badminton. How far is it from here to your hometown?
It's about 200 kilometers. How about you? How far is it from here to your hometown?
It's about 150 kilometers. How long does it take you to go back to your hometown by coach?
It takes me about 5 hours. How about you? How long does it take you to go back to your hometown by coach?
It takes me about 3 hours. How much does it cost you to go back to your hometown by coach?
It costs me about $4. How about you? How much does it cost you to go back to your hometown by coach?
It costs me about $200,000. How do you usually stay at home for?
I stay at home for about 3 days. How about you? How do you usually stay at home for?
I usually stay at home for about 2 days. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Have a nice day.
You too.
See you later.
See you later.
Yes.
Hello, my name is Daryl. What is your name?
My name is Huyền. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. What do you do?
I'm a second year student. What about you? What do you do?
I am an English teacher. How old are you?
I'm 20 years old. And you? How old are you?
I am 29 years old. Do you have a boyfriend?
No, I haven't. I haven't got a boyfriend. And you? Have you got a boyfriend?
No, I haven't got a boyfriend.
Yeah.
But I also haven't got a girlfriend. How many siblings do you have?
I've got a brother and a sister. And you? How many siblings have you got?
I've got one sister. Where do you come from?
I come from Taipei province. And you? Where do you come from?
I come from Cape Town in South Africa. How long have you been here?
I've been here for about 1 year. What about you? How long have you been here?
I've been here for 5 days. How often do you visit your family?
I visit my family every month. And you? How often do you visit your family?
I visit my family once every year. Who do you usually go back to your hometown with?
I usually go back to my hometown with my friend. And you? Who do you usually go back to your hometown with?
I usually go back to my hometown by myself. When do you usually go back to your hometown?
I usually go back to my hometown when I feel homesick. And you? When do you usually go back to your hometown?
I usually go back to my hometown during the school holidays. What time do you usually go back to your hometown?
I usually go back to my hometown at 7 p.m. And you? What time do you usually go back to your hometown?
I usually go back to my hometown at 9 p.m. What do you usually do after going back to your hometown?
Wow. After going back home, I usually play badminton. And you? What do you usually do after going back home?
After I'm going home, I usually visit my friends and family. How do you usually go back to your hometown?
I usually go back to my hometown by coach
Okay. Why don't you use a taxi?
because it's too expensive for me.
Okay. And why don't you use a bicycle?
Because it's too far from here to my hometown. Yeah.
Okay. And why don't you catch the bus?
Because the bus doesn't go to my hometown.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Well done.